Speaking of ominous, we are the best and most ominous that we can come up with because, hey, welcome to Deep Lore About Nothing. This is going to be a regulation fan cast. I'm Dennis. I'm here with KP. Give a shout.
Hey. Oh god, that was so late.
Timing, editing, after the fact.
Editing.
And,
No, we
and
gotta
we're here
leave in. We gotta leave in the silence. KP's our own personal Griff. It's okay.
Wait, does that make David here our Simmons? Am I our Sarge?
I'm totally down for that. I'm down for being a Simmons because I have an absolute obsession with knowledge and knowing everything there is to know about existence.
See, I feel like there's more days where I definitely am more of a donut, but I guess I'll take the grip.
Oh boy, we are getting sidetracked in the
We
best
are
ways possible
super,
right now.
super
On
sidetracked.
brand,
Let's
on
go.
brand.
Just like in the original Fuckface and Regulation podcast, we can't do an intro for shit. But here we are. We've been brought together as fans and friends by a podcast that essentially became its own expanding universe. It now encompasses a goof world, falcons, coins, ratty boys and gerplers, keys to the city, all
God.
things extra medium. But yeah, we're here to talk about the deep lore about nothing. Regulation Podcast was born all the way back in the pandemic, like everyone else who started a podcast. But people like Jeff Ramsey, Gavin Free, and Andrew Panton have a little bit of experience and created something so wild, wacky, and off the wall that we just had to be the imitation that's the sincerest form of flattery, right, guys?
Hell yeah.
So, first question is like, when did you discover fuckface/regulation?
Well, I've always been a huge fan of Jeff Ramsey and his work. And when he kind of stepped back from making content, when he got sober, I was kind of disappointed. And I was worried that he wasn't going to come back to making content. But he did a lot of work still behind the scenes at Rooster Teeth. And during the pandemic, he had made the announcement that he was coming out with a new podcast. That him, Gavin, and Andrew specifically were coming out with a new podcast. And it was called Fuckface. And I was all over that, baby. I was on that like white on rice. I I was all for it. I was like, Jeff's coming back to make content. Let's go. Because Jeff and Gavin are kind of my favorite team in Achievement Hunter. Like, they were my favorite duo in the Achievement Hunter cast. What about you, KP?
And say I am definitely more like a more recent fan of Regulation and Fuckface.
But that's why I want your perspective, because like coming to it now, like now of all
Yeah.
times to hop in, like you're getting in the deep end. I
Oh,
love
I
it.
know. It's like, 'cause back in middle school, I definitely was like a pretty big fan of both, well, more Achievement Hunter than Rooster Teeth, but discovering the community again has definitely been so rewarding and getting to meet so many cool people and just interacting with fans for the first time ever. I know that there were times where I'd go back and, like, watch older videos. I don't know why I never really decided to not delve into newer content. I think I was just like, "Oh, well, it's over and done with," but coming back and realizing, like, "Oh, no, they weren't done. They're just a new avenue, I guess." But listening, say, like, on my car rides into work and then on breaks and stuff, it's been, like, the most entertaining thing that I've consumed in a while, and I'm so glad that I decided to.
For me, I found it being advertised essentially or mentioned on like a commercial or ad break thing while watching, of all things, Black Box Down, which was a podcast show that Gus Sorolla and Chris Damaris did, all about plane crashes. And that was like, ooh, wow, they're analyzing plane crashes. That's right up my alley. I
That was
love
a great
true
show.
crime. It was a fantastic show. Not the kind of show that we could do a deep dive into. It doesn't really lend itself to that. But and I just hear, wait a minute, Jeff is back doing a podcast. They'd been doing probably 4 or 5 episodes, so I'm not quite a day one regulation listener. But boy, am I in way too deep right now. I'm surrounded. I'm currently wearing my regulation patch shirt. So now that I have all the spending money to throw at all my wonderful nerd hobbies, you have to rep. Yeah, regulation is like its own language. Gavin says it best himself. He called it deep lore about nothing.
Yep.
And that's why we're stealing it shamelessly, because that show gets so deep and creates its own story, its own world, and any kind of world like that. I want to live in Goof World.
I want to live in Goof World so bad. I'm already on some wacky time frames half the time, so like, I'll go live in Goof World, no problem.
I'll live a street over.
I think one of the things that I love about whether it be Slow Mo Guys or any of the other side content that these awesome people have created over the years is they show real depth, real emotion, real fundamental knowledge about their fields. Like, say what you want about Jeff being kind of a goofball, and he admits that he is. He's created and taken things from concept all the way through into finished product in media, and that's not an easy thing to do. What he's done with Machinima, like he says himself, he was like that world's best head bobber.
And say I will say the older that I've gotten and like returning back to that sort of content, definitely being able to take that step back and really appreciate the production and the time that went into it. Because like if you take it at face value, it's like, oh, these guys are just like the goofiest guys in the world, but then you look at it from a different angle and you're like, whoa, this is insane.
Yeah, like truly, Jeff is incredibly talented beyond just the guy who recorded his farts, for example. And Gavin might be one of the best photographers of doing anything with a slow mo camera in the world. There's a reason why people seek him out, and whether it be NASA, whether it
He worked
be
for NASA.
he tells a story at some point about being invited to go shoot a rocket launch.
Oh my god.
And then there's Andrew Panton.
Oh my
In all
god.
the best ways, he might be the most wholesome child kicker in the entire universe. I think we could all agree on that.
I have like one-sided beef with Andrew Panton. I know nothing else about him aside from fuckface and like this podcast. I think I mentioned it once before. Andrew Panton is on my list of people that I would describe as a psychiatrist's nightmare. Like what he is the most like the strangest individual. Like just his thought process down to just that. What happened?
I'm gonna have all the audacity in the world and then somehow roll the best charisma checks ever.
And then this is the same man starting beef with the wicker basket community as well.
Oh, we will get to that because it
There's
won't be long
more.
in our first official episode, because this is kind of more like a trial, get yourselves into it, get to know us, get to know what we're talking about. Every episode of our show is going to cover a month in fuckface regulation history, starting all the way back from the very beginning. And so tune in to episode 1 officially. It took our promo preview episode to learn how to screw up an intro, and it took us 0 episodes technically to screw up our own numbering system. It didn't take 16.
My question for you guys. Are you corn cats or piss rats?
Are you speaking English to me? What is that?
They have this running gag that because Eric is the rat man, right? With the whole ratty boy thing. And Gavin has his cats pissing all over the place. So what they did was I don't really remember where the corn thing came from, but it's corn cats and piss rats. And on their Twitch, they have specific emojis for those. They have a ratty boy, That's literally just pissing like that iconic shirt graphic of
This
like
is
the
like the
little.
Calvin and Hobbes one.
Yeah. It's like the Calvin and Hobbes one, but it's a rat, but it's Ratty Boy, and he's pissing.
So he's emulating his own game, basically. And as much as I thought the original Ratty Boy video was one of the most annoying to sit through, frustrating, I felt Eric's
That game is
pain the
horrendous.
entire time.
That game is
There's
horrendous.
a reason why they kept playing it and why it turned into their own meme.
I love that it became a thing.
They take the silliest, dumbest stuff and make it not only memorable, but incredibly heartwarming too at the same time. I want to go to a theme park in Goof World and hug a giant ratty boy, because you know it would be there. To hell with Mickey Mouse, to hell with Bugs Bunny.
Ratty boy.
Give me Ratty Boy and Sauce Monkey.
A slightly different universe, although the monkey mask will always be threatening from the shadows.
I was gonna say the monkey is a crossover. I love how that became a thing too. The with Nick being in the background for so many episodes of Fuckface proper, and then slowly more and more he was getting into the audio of the episode, and now all of a sudden it's all of them. It's all 5 of them.
He's on the team. You can't imagine it now.
I can't. It's gonna be so weird, you guys, for us to listen. I don't think we've mentioned. I mean, we just now started mentioning more Eric and Nick, but we haven't talked about Nick and Eric. We've talked about the other 3 guys. We've talked about Jeff, Gavin, and Andrew, and like our discoveries of them and our.
They were that original trio. I'll treat it like it's the Power Rangers without the Green Ranger.
Wait, so does that make Nick and Eric the Green Ranger?
God.
I would call Eric the Green Ranger because
Absolutely.
he gets
100%.
shit done.
100%.
And Nick can be the Dragon Zord.
I totally agree. Oh my god, I totally agree.
And this is why we're doing this, is because we can find the analysis that makes it work.
They're just adding to the lore.
They keep creating their own world, but yeah, it started out so crazy and they just added more to it. It only took 2 episodes, for example, for them to get Eric popping in. Eric pops in at the end of the 2nd episode because they can't end the episode properly.
Yeah, because he needs to get them to end the fucking show. I remember that.
It keeps happening though. They still end this.
He just pops in. He's like, "Hey, we need to this needs to stop. We need to stop."
Hey guys.
Eric has served as the producer behind the scenes ever since day one on Fuckface. And if you've seen any of the productions that Eric works on, he gets stuff done. He's like a machine. Very similar to how Jeff takes things from concept and turns them into reality. Eric is all business in terms of making that kind of stuff happen. And he chose the 3 most frustrating idiots to make a show with and produce for. And that's why, honestly, I empathize so much with every time Eric gets angry on the show. It's entertaining.
Yeah,
You really saw these 3 buffoons and said, I can make this work.
I can make this work. Yeah, let's go. Let's try this.
Give it the old college try.
I was going to say, like, every other show that Rooster Teeth ever produced, they tried to do it and become the top 40 music comparison. The Rooster Teeth podcast or anything else they did, that was like your pop music. That was your R&B, your hip hop, your top 40. That's going to get the main airplay. That is marketable. They got a ton of different sponsors. I mean, we could argue to death over the downfall / reemergence like a phoenix of Rooster Teeth as a company, but you can't argue with how most of their productions were very user-friendly, had a perfect introduction to people. Fuckface was like the punk rock. And not just like Green Day level punk rock that can get, airplay on the radio. This was like the punk rock, punk rock. You're never going to hear about this. We can't play this because right from the very start, let's create almost the anti podcast. Let's create the kind of name that we can't even put on our own website.
Yeah, I remember when Gavin was like, I can't even search this on the RT site.
It endeared itself to me right away because it wasn't trying to be like anything else. And they didn't have rules, they didn't have a playbook. They even joke at different points about playing with the medium of an intro. And the fact that these guys are able to entertain themselves so much is what has created the audience for them.
Exactly. Eric Eric taking this show and doing all that he has for the production of it, and their work to market it when they didn't market it. Like, it just became this.
They kind of like that word of mouth type thing.
Yeah. It just became it became an entity, kind of like Rooster Teeth did in the early days. It was word of mouth kind of thing. Oh, let me show you this thing on the internet real quick.
Oh, guys, have you seen this video? Have you seen this? Have you go here?
Yeah. And when Gavin during Fuckface described it, like the way that he tells people about the show is it's a deep lore about absolutely nothing. That is immediately what I started just to describe this show as to people. Like the people in my everyday life that I would see. They would see me laughing at something from the podcast, hardly being able to breathe. I was laughing so hard. And they'd be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just laughing so hard at this thing from this show called Fuckface." And they'd look at me like, "What the fuck? What did you just call me?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not. No, it's this podcast. You see, it's on my phone." And
See, but there is something very charming about the podcast itself, where the lack of structure from the very beginning. So I'm scratching the surface of Fuckface itself, but it just feels like you're just listening in on a conversation. There's no like, oh, we got to cover this, we got to cover that. We're talking about this today. It's very much just its own thing, and that's what I'm absolutely loving about it.
I'm very particular about the kind of podcasts I listen to. And like a lot of the Rooster Teeth podcasts, I will listen to because they've always made me feel like I was a part of the conversation.
Right.
I'll be sitting here watching regulation content, and Gavin will say something or do something, and I'm like, "Gavin, no, why would you do that?" Like,
So you just find yourself like nodding along to the conversation, like, oh,
yeah.
Yeah, it is like being the fly on the wall in your favorite room.
It really, truly is.
Or for anyone who drinks, it's like going to a bar and the table next to you is having the greatest time,
Oh.
and you are just lucky enough to every once in a while maybe send them over a drink or give them a thumbs up, and they'll give you a thumbs up back.
Mm-hmm.
They're still doing their own thing and you enjoy it.
the subtle acknowledgement.
And the reason why, though, that regulation to me, I think, has not only stood out and gone from being something so crazy to the kind of job that has helped sustain the life and career of now multiple people now that they've gone independent, is because they've been able to take dick and fart jokes and make it appealing to everybody, and they have love for each other. It's the kind of love where they might push each other down the stairs, but it is a genuine love.
Well, it's that friendship where it's like, if I watch you fall down, I'm gonna laugh my ass off, but then immediately gonna ask if you're okay.
What is that one bit or one story from Fuckface Regulation that you keep coming back to and would be like, I'm showing this off. This is how I'm going to sell other people on watching it?
God, I think mine was more recent, but I don't think it's one of those where it's memorable because it was funny. It was memorable because it's haunting. So I'm not sure what episode it was.
Oh no.
Whatever. So I don't know what episode I was on, but it was like a little bit down the line, like in Fuckface. Andrew was talking about basically the question, I don't know when I was a teenager, and he's trying to explain that he doesn't know what years constitute as a teenager, and I think I heard that on my drive to work before 8 a.m., and I, was, like, shell-shocked. Driving, I'm like, "How has this man gotten this far in his life? What is this thought process?" I am so perturbed, and that's just been sticking with me. Oh my god.
Probably gotta say, if it was one moment that I could just put in a time capsule and relive the first time that it happened and like that I heard it and saw it on the podcast, is Jack's exotic bird.
What?
They were at Jeff's birthday party, and Jack was going around, or no, Jack had come up to Jeff asking him if he had ever seen this bird, and he shows him a picture of a bird.
Saying, "Is this Jack Petillo of Boomer?"
Jack
Okay.
Patillo, yes, this is the
Also
yeah.
known as Superfan Jack.
Superfan Jack,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Superfan Jack, baby. So he goes up to Jeff and he asks him. He goes, have you ever seen a bird like this?" And he shows him a picture of a bird that he took with his phone. And Jeff is just really kind of dumbfounded by Jack coming up to him and asking him this question. So he starts going around the party and showing people this bird. And he goes, "Check out Jack's exotic bird, everyone." And so Gavin asked Jack to send him the picture, and so he did, and then he sent it to Eric. They revealed Jack Patillo's exotic bird, and it was just a picture of a bog standard pigeon, but like a side profile of the pigeon's head at like a diagonal angle, so the head kind of looked fucked up a little bit.
But it's a pigeon.
It's just a pigeon?
Clearly it's a pigeon. Like, it's dead obvious that it's a fucking pigeon. I'm sitting at my table having dinner and I'm listening to the podcast, and I'm like, I'm on the edge of my seat because I know for a fact that they've got a picture of this fucking bird and they're going to post it on the episode. But because they had posted a "Who's That Pokemon" type image as the thumbnail, and it was just the silhouette of the bird but then the background of the photo. So it was like a "Who's That Pokemon" type setup for the thumbnail. And so I had to I'm like, I know they're gonna show me this bird. And they show the fucking pigeon. And
it's just a goddamn pigeon.
It's just a goddamn pigeon. And I started dying fucking laughing. I damn near fell out of my chair at the dining room table. I'm laughing so hard I can't fucking breathe. It's just a pigeon. It's just a fucking pigeon.
You know what I like is I can do a Google search of what was the first appearance of Jack's exotic bird, and it tells me
No way!
Apparently it appears the exotic bird mentioned by Jack from Regulation Podcast, formerly Fuckface. I love when we can put this kind of stuff in Google search results. First appeared and was discussed in Regulation Podcast episode 61. So that's about 20 episodes ago.
This is literally just a pigeon.
It is a pigeon.
It's just a pigeon! Because like I was having kind of a rough day that day, and then I had gotten home and I was like, all right, end of the day, I'm gonna catch up on my content that got released today. And I watched the podcast, and I'm sitting there talking about the exotic bird, and I'm literally, like I said, I'm on the edge of my seat. And then it's just a goddamn pigeon.
We love the pigeon, though. I own a "Have you seen this exotic bird" shirt. One of the things, though, that really says a lot about the character of all the guys from Regulation Fuckface is they took that photo because it became a thing. They put it on shirts and everything. But they actually paid good hard money to their friend Jack Patillo.
They did 100%.
For the rights for that image. That way they're sending the love and they are good loyal friends to each other.
Okay. Well, I was about to say, in the same sort of vein, if we're talking about fuckface, have any of you guys fuckfaced yourselves this week or recently?
I was just about to ask that. Oh, that was wonderful.
To explain though what fuckfacing is, it is basically kicking yourselves in the balls for the sake of a laugh. Like setting yourself up for failure, knowing that it's going to be funny, letting yourself be the butt of the joke.
I think I had one yesterday. I wasn't knowingly setting myself up, but I was over with my fiance. I was at my in-laws' house. I was talking with him and his mom. I forget what the like true topic of discussion was. We're talking about like he was talking about his parents and I said something about my parents. She was talking like the conversation was about like parents and whatever. I I don't know why I said it, but I'm starting a fish tank and I am trying to like do it all on my own, kind of sort of whatever. But I just kind of blurted out loud like, you know, I think my dad's excited too for the fish tank. Sometimes when I come home, I find the light on when I'm not there to turn it on, and everyone starts dying laughing. Like, where did you pull that from? Where did that topic come from? Like, we were just talking about parents. I said about my dad, and then everyone's just dying laughing. And it's just like I pulled that out of thin fucking air. Like, no, I'll just ride that. That'll be that'll be my one for the week.
I'm still impressed by your fish tank. You've shared photos of it and the original like how it's coming along. This setup is beautiful. So
I know. I'm so excited. If it doesn't snow too bad this weekend, I'm hoping that I can finally stock it and get some fish. If not, I'm gonna be so mad because I've been cycling it for about 2 weeks now, and I just want to get fish in that goddamn tank.
One of my favorite Andrew Panton stories that sticks with me and that I tell people to describe to them the likeness of Andrew Panton is one of his personal fuck faces that he did to himself where he slipped on the sushi container lid and
yes.
and like just completely just eat shit in his bedroom, or like the cupcake in the bathroom.
Everything surrounding that cupcake journey it, it it breaks me. It breaks me so mentally.
Well, I thought it was bad when he said, "Hey, I'm gonna put my toothbrush in the cookie box because I'm not gonna remember my toothbrush, that thing I use at least twice a day, but I'll remember to eat that goddamn cookie."
I'll remember to eat the cookie and then brush my teeth afterward.
That's what, because he was hiding in the bathroom and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, the best thing in the world because I put my toothbrush in with the cookie," on his heist out of the bathroom. Why didn't he just like come out of the bathroom, make it known to the movers, be like, "Oh yeah, I came in while y'all were out." No, we're just gonna keep hiding in the bathroom like some vagrant as if he doesn't live in the own apartment that he's moving into.
And taking a bath while you're at it. Because you have to get the cat litter off of yourself.
Well, you gotta get the cat litter off, and it's just, something to do when you run out of things to do in the bath. How do you then he was multiple hours in. How do you run out of things to do in the bathroom? I feel like there's a very limited amount of things to do in a bathroom.
I was just about to say I love how Jeff is listening to like episodes of the podcast now so that he doesn't forget bits. So like as we're going through this, I kind of want to start emailing like him or Andrew cuz I have the email for So All Right, and I'd love to email them and like talk about bits that we rediscover as we're going through the early days of fuckface that they haven't brought back in modern day regulation.
And say to see how much they remember.
Yeah, like I know that there's certain things that they remember like off the top of their head, certain bits that they did in the early days that they'll remember off the top of their heads because those were like extremely memorable. Also because I hear them talk about it quite often in different pieces of content. Like the baseball hit, when they did the hitting of the baseballs, when they did the first bean hole, not the one for the pens, but the first one that they did before Jeff moved. And then I don't know if they haven't talked about it recently, but they talked about it a few months ago about the bike stunt.
I gotta say, I remember that video coming out of Jeff doing his bike stunt. I was actually not impressed. It was not impressive at all. It was barely a bunny hop, and yet it was perfectly simple.
It was perfectly simple, and I loved it.
Did the friendly ghost make an appearance?
I don't think in that one, but the friendly ghost definitely makes an appearance on a regular, and you're doing Does It Do?
I need to watch that. I think I watched like maybe an episode.
I watched the entirety of Does It Do, and then I watched all through Survive Block Island again because it was funny as hell. There's one episode of Does It Do that never got released because Jeff hurt himself pretty bad on the set. Like he punched through some glass or something, cut up his hand real bad,
Oh no.
and like had to go in and get stitches. And they talk about it every once in a while.
And yet we want him to go back and do more.
Yeah, we want him to go back and do more. Yeah, we want him to go back and do more. We want him to punch himself in the face again like he did on the break show a couple weeks ago.
The break show being about opening packs of cards, not literally about punching yourself in the face. And that's what makes the show so great. It's the community. It's all the people that are coming together and supporting each other and taking these goofy, random, silly, stupid bits and making them that much bigger, that much more awesome, and perpetuating the regulation of it all. Well, it's crazy how things are so cyclical and how many things have actually come back around. Like when the show first started, it was during pandemic. The very first episode, they're talking about Animal Crossing and getting their turnip prices. And what have I
I was gonna say Animal Crossing's having a resurgence with that new
exactly? What
update
have I been
coming
doing
out.
this week? I created a new island.
Me
I
too.
I was gonna say I seen that. I seen your Animal Crossing pictures.
And if we're reliving the nostalgia of 2020, those fantastic better days they were, we might as well go all the way. And they even have now a brand new Garfield kart racing game too.
There is.
I'm excited to see them play that.
And if you want more awesome references like that and our own brand of ridiculous stupidity, keep coming back for more. On our next episode, we really dive deep into episodes 1 through 4 of the original Buckface podcast, covering such things as face tattoos, the Billy Ripkin fuckface card, basket weaving, bathroom stories, boat safety classes, and the greatness of MVP2.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Oh god, what an ending. But yeah, this has been the pilot original episode of Deep Lore About Nothing. I've been Dennis. I'm here with David
Heyo.
and KP.
Hey.
And this has been awesome.
Bye.
Bye.